Hi everyone, it's me, the Perfectly Booked, and I'm back with a new video. I remember the last time I posted was on December 2024, and the reason I didn't post so far is because I was lazy. Two, I didn't had a microphone until now. It's here. So yes, I got a new microphone also, so I decided to, shoot it. Today's video is my monthly wrap. What I thought to read. My TBR was in January and what I read in January, and I will be doing ratings also, like spice levels and things, and reviews also. So see this video as a kind of recommending kind of one, like you wanted some books recs but you wanted a very different and unique recs, then watch this video. So before diving into the video, please subscribe to my channel and please hit the like button also. I would be very grateful if you hit the like button. And I have reached 500 followers. I didn't thought I would reach 500 followers. I genuinely didn't thought that I would reach 500 followers, and I'm so happy I have reached 500 followers. Thank you so much for following me and supporting me. I knew many of them are my closer people who love me so much, and thanks for supporting me. It means a lot to me. Now let's get into the video. So before starting, I have to say, when January started, I was having this kind of weird thought that is, I want to read romance. It's funny because I am an avid fantasy reader and a thriller also. I love to read fantasy, I love to read thriller, I love to read suspense, psychology thriller, whatever thriller it is, I love to read it so much. But romance wasn't my thing at all. I'm sorry. So far since 2017, I didn't read a romance book. I meant it, because I do read Colin Hoover's book, but you know what Colin Hoover is, right? So I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of Colin Hoover at all. So if you don't like Colin Hoover and if you think that I'm hating her, well, it's my opinion and it's my taste. So since 2017, I didn't read a romance book, like a proper romance book, like completely. I DNF'd majority of the romance book that I tried reading. And this year, I don't know, some kind of weird thought happened in my mind, and I decided to read romance. So yes, two books among my January wrap is this one. Oh yeah, I even have a physical copy of this book. I have the whole series. They are not the first book I read. I would start from the first book. The first book I read is this one. It's Ashwell Vampire Trail, right? Okay, so Vampire Trails or Trail, whatever it is, and Vampire's Trail, and this book is actually vampire romance. It's kind of like a supernatural vampire diaries kind of book. This one, I didn't read Vampire Diaries, but I have to say it, I heard many people telling this is kind of like the writer wrote this book because she loves Vampire Diaries and Vampire Academies and books like that. Okay, so it is kind of like that, but I have to say this was a really amazing book, especially for those who loves to read vampire. You have to read this, because in this book most of the stories from the vampire's perspective only. There is no human world and things like that, like vampires going to human world. No, it's in the vampire world itself, and the story is a very unique story. So far I never have read a vampire book like this. This was really wonderful. The adventure, the thriller, the suspense, everything was there from starting till end, and I was really happy that I found this book. And to be honest, this was very expensive. The physical book was very expensive, so I read the ebook. So yes, this book was an amazing book, and it has 3 books. The third book isn't released, the second book is released, and the second book I read is actually the second book of the Ashwell series, and it is Ashwell the Vampire's Case. So this book is actually a continuation of the Ashwell series. And yes, it has more suspense and more storylines also. They are not staying in that one place where the Ashwell is portrayed like the book 1 is there, and they're going on an adventure, like a real adventure. Whereas in book one, they are not going on an adventure, they are in a kind of hostel, college kind of place, and some kind of tragedy and some kind of suspicious things is happening, like supernatural thing, people are dying and things like that. So the second book is they get more answers, they are finding a criminal who escaped from book one. Okay, so yeah, that is what the second book is also about. I would give both this book 5 star because this book was wonderful. This book was the one I was trying to find the like long time, especially a vampire series, and I was very happy, very impressed by this book. I really meant it. And there is a third book also. I think it's named The Ashvale, The Vampire's Touch. That is what I think the third book is. I have a very happy news. I posted about I have read this book in my Instagram. It's a good news for me. Okay, so I posted a review of this book in my Instagram, and I tagged author Jade Church, who is actually the author of this book, and she tagged me, she mentioned me in her story. That was the first time an author mentioned me in their story, and I was jumping with joy. I was like, oh my god, what just happened? I was being dramatic, I was crying, I was laying on the floor, I was like, oh my god. So I was very happy she mentioned me. That is the first time an author mentioned me. I really meant it, I swear. Nobody ever mentioned me. I have mentioned other authors also in my Instagram, but I didn't mention anybody because of the intention that they has to see it. So I mentioned them because they wrote the book, so they deserve the tagging, right? So yes, that's the only reason I mentioned them. But I never thought an author would mention me in their story. It was a really huge surprise. So before going further, if you don't know what is my Instagram account, I will give you the name here. It's a huge name. Okay, or maybe I would try giving a link in the description. You can go and check out my page. The spice level of these two books, I have to say maybe 4 and 3, because there is more adult romance and scenes, and yes, this is an adult romance. These books are adult fantasy, dark fantasy book. So I don't think I would recommend this book for young age, like teenagers. Yes, definitely adult romance for adults. If I'm going to recommend this with yes, no, or maybe, well, I would definitely give yes, but it's a no for YA, especially teens and people who are under 20. I don't think it's great for those people around age 20. Just my opinion, okay? So the third book I read, did it say that I read 8 books this month? So yes, I forgot to say this month my goal was to read 5 book in each month, but I read 8 books. So I told 2 books now. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell that earlier. The third book I read is House of Salt and Sorrow. Actually, that wasn't the book I was reading. I was having another book also, like currently reading. But House of Salt is the book that I finished reading before any other books, okay? House of Salt and Sorrow is the book I have been thinking to buy a long time ago. Like last year, beginning itself, I was thinking to buy the physical book, but I was very hesitant. The price was very cheap, but I was very hesitant because I don't know, the book page was so little. I want a book which has 800 or 900 pages. I do like series also, but even if it's a series, I wanted a book which has like at least 700 or 600 pages, or I won't be satisfied at all. So small pages like 300, 400 pages means, yeah, the book, there won't be a lot of story, like interesting story. The more the pages, the more interesting the stories and plots will be. I really wanted a very thick book, and this book hardcover itself was very cheap, but some kind of force was stopping me to buy it. I was like, I would add it into the cart, then I would save it for later, then again add, save it for later, add, save it for later. That was what I was doing, like a lot of time. So finally I decided to read that book instead of buy. So yes, this book also I read it in ebook, and this book is a 4.75 rating because the story is not that huge, but a very cozy read. Especially it has sister love bonds, family adventure kind of book is this one. It has a very suspenseful scenes also. At the end you will cry, that's for sure, because most of the time it's about somebody dying and some kind of curse is there. So technically it has curses, it has death, it has losing, it has suspense also, but it's not that suspenseful. Okay, so if I have to give a kind of description, it's like, how would you feel when it's raining? The atmosphere and the temperature, that is exactly how you feel when you read this book, because it has many things to do with water and seas and ocean, because salt and sorrow. Even if you look at the picture like closer, you would realize that it's a picture of, it has a picture of octopus tentacles, right, arms, tentacles and things like that, and water also is there, rock and water is there in the picture. It's some kind of similar like Moana, because ocean and island, then sisters are there and trying to find what is the cause of this curse and things. Then there is ballroom dance and like they always dance. It's a really fairy tale, but you will feel that atmosphere when it's raining, the feeling you get, that is what you feel when you read this book, because I felt that. Okay, I felt like it's raining and I'm reading this book, and that is what I felt, the feeling. This is what I felt. For me it's a 4.75. I hear many people telling it's not that amazing, but I really liked it because it is a happy ending. It is a sad ending and happy also, but it's a very satisfying ending. It's like, okay, that's okay, that's it, that's okay, it's fine. That is what you feel when you finish reading this book. The spice level, I don't think there is a spice in this one, because there is a male character also, but it's not that spicy. So technically I would give one. Maybe romance is there, it's a very sweet romance, but not a spicy romance. Okay, so maybe I would say that this book can be recommended to YAs. It is an yes for both of it. Recommendation, yes for both, like adult and, but still I have to say it is a maybe, because I told you it's not a very amazing book like any other fantasy books or anything I have read. So overall it's an yes or maybe. I would give if I would recommend this book. And yes, it's actually maybe. The next, which is fourth book I read, is this one. It's Incidents Around the House. This is the worst book I read in January, and when January started, when 2025 started, I saw many bookstagrammers talking about this book. They were like, oh, this book is amazing, you have to read it. People who read fantasies, like any kinds of book also, they were telling this book is amazing, you have to read this book, this is amazing, fabulous, suspenseful, oh, full of surprise and things like that. But I don't think so. This has, okay, here's the thing, maybe my first sister would love this book, because whatever book she reads, Six of Crow, The Cruel Prince, then Chateau Me, and whatever fantasy book she reads, she's like, yeah, it's okay, it's okay. It's always okay. Even when she read the most famous book also, she's like, it's okay. So perhaps this book would suit her, because I just don't know, it's very bland and so dragging and so boring. And the reason is because the narrator is a kid. A kid means technically when you start reading you would feel like she's 9 or 7 years old kid, and just a small kid is telling a story that is happening inside her house. Okay, she's seeing some kind of creepy creature, monster. She's traumatized, but at the same time she's friends with that creepy creature, and her mother and father, her mother can see that creature, and they are trying to escape from that creature, and it is full of messy things, and it is so boring. It is so boring. There is no too much pages, so I finished within 2 or 3 days, but it was so boring. I really meant it. I really wasted my 3 days reading this book. And at the ending I was like, what the fluff happened? It was so abrupt. The ending is not properly told. They just shattered it like, that's it. I really hated this book. So I gave 2 or 3 because there are a few sweet moments between a child and her family, and because of that only I gave 2 stars. The story is not at all something that I would prefer reading again. I always used to say I don't like family thrillers kind of one, and this book proved that I hate. I really hate. So if you wanted a book where a kid is telling, the reason I hate this book is because the story, the introduction, the way they wrote it, it's not properly written. It's really messed up. That's why I didn't like this book that much. Usually a thriller is like, even if it's going to end, they would tell what happened, okay, like they would give the whole story out at the end. But in this one, it was an abrupt ending. Like it's like, maybe many people would have different perspective about this ending, but I felt like the kid killed her father and mother, like that kid. And some people are telling like, it's about how she faced her this creature. I'm not going to talk about this book. I get irritated thinking about this book, so I'm giving it a 2, and it's a no for recommending. I am telling you, I won't recommend this book. If you really wanted to try, maybe you can read this, but I didn't like this book. I really didn't like this book, and I don't know how those people who recommended me this book love this book. So the 5th book I read was a book I have been reading in December 31st. Yes, I have been reading at that time. It was my current read at that time, but I didn't finish reading it because yes, it was a slow burn. So the book I was reading was this one. It's From Blood and Ash, and this book I finished after this 4 or 5 books. After this 4 book I have now recently told. It was my current read because it was a really slow burn book. It was very slow burn. The beginning was so slow, but the ending is mind blowing. It is wonderful. It's so amazing. The ending is not the ending, like the half page, like literally half of the pages are, it's a slow burn, but later it gets so interesting. And the romance, the spice, 4.75. If I have to give, then I would definitely give 5 stars, because wow, they has romance in snow, like outside. So this book is actually an adult fantasy, and it has vampire, it has lords, ladies, and it has a maiden also. Maiden is the main character, and this maiden will be given to the gods, okay. She is a chosen one kind of character. And then there is some dark dark group kind of one who would kill any people who would do anything to get the power. And there is duchess and dukes also. Then there is queen and king also. It's like a not fairies and dragons and things like that. It's more powerful immortal creatures. It has more immortal creatures. There is no humans, okay. Everybody is immortal. Everybody has some kind of powers. There are humans, but I just felt like this book has more immortals rather than human beings. So our normal people, okay. So this has werewolves also. I think werewolves or wolves, I don't know how to say it, but I think it's werewolf, okay. It's what I think. And vampire also. The vampire won't come till the book is half, okay. Half of the beginning half of the book, the vampire is hidden, but later when it's about to end, vampire would come, okay. So yes, I started reading this book because I heard there is vampire in this book, and I told you I was looking for a vampire book. So I thought maybe this book would be amazing and it would have some vampire something, but it didn't had any vampire. But I told you the half of the page there is no vampire. So that is why I decided to read Ashwell. And after reading this, after reading The House of Salt and Sorrows, after reading incidents around the house, then only I finished From Blood and Ash. I sat and finished it. Like I decided to finish it. Like now I can't keep on going it, because if I keep on dragging it and not reading it, avoiding it, then definitely I would DNF it. So I decided to finish it. And this is a true definition of slow burn at the beginning and fast paced at the end. If you're going to read this book, read till the end, okay. Then then if you want to get frustrated, you can be frustrated or anything, but don't stop at the half page, okay, because I don't want you to miss the ending. It's very, and this book has many books. This is not the only one book. It is a series, and I will show you in order how to read the series in order, okay? Or you can check it in my Instagram page also. I have posted about this book's review, a post itself, okay? So if you wanted to know what book to read next, if you wanted to know the order, maybe you can check it there, or I will give it here, like give the picture over here. So this book also I won't recommend to YA because it has romance, and it has adult romance, above 18 or above 20 romance. It has too intense romance. So if you are a person who read romance book, okay, maybe this romance will be nothing comparing to the book that you read. It's okay for the people who read romance book, but not for innocent people. No, not for innocent people, because this can ruin your innocence. You will see your innocence flying here. So don't read if you don't want to lose your innocence. And this book also I will give 4.25, not 4.75, because I told you the beginning is really slow burn. But you never know, the second book can be a 5-star. So the next book I read is this one, Rhapsodic, right? I pronounce it right? So it's Rhapsodic by Laura Thalassa. It's Laura Thalassa, right? Yes, it's Laura Thalassa. And this is actually a romantic book, a very dark romantic book, okay? And I just felt when I was reading this book, I just felt very similar to Akotar, because the male character is such a devil, and he would do anything what the female lead says, and in return she has to repay him, okay? So she has, like, technically she has 332 repayment. It's like technically she kept on asking him for favors for many years, and she has to repay him 332 things, okay? Whatever he asks, she has to repay him, and it is 332 repayment. So there is 332 flavors she asks, and he is a bargainer, he's a devil in human world, in mortal world, and he's a wanted criminal kind of one, okay? So he has a magic, and if you ask him for help, he would do anything illegal also. Like if you kill somebody, and if you ask that bargainer, he's called a bargainer, if you ask this bargainer to disappear that dead body, then he would do it. That's what the story is. And this female lead, the female character, is a siren. It's that mermaid thing, right? So it's a siren, she's a siren. She would ask for a favor, and their bond would rise. The bargainer, the main character is bargainer, he has wing, but honestly he is actually a fairy, okay? The king of darkness, some kind of like that. And their chemistry, their love is something that I also would desire to get, because whatever he said to her, he loved her so much that he can't keep her. The reason I told that this book is kind of similar to Akotar, it's not Akotar, I think it's Akomaf, the second book of Akotar series. And the reason I told that is because the male character and the female character, the male character is raised in Akotar, right? And the female character is Faye, and she and Rise is actually soulmate. It's like she can't be with anybody. They are destined to be a soulmate. They are a soulmate, and just like that, in this book, Rhapsodic also, the male character and the female character are soulmate. Even if the female character decide to have a boyfriend, somebody else, they are destined to break up, because this bargainer and the female character are destined to be soulmate, just like Akomaf. So I really like this book so much also. I have to say this book is a 5-star, because they were not dragging at all. Every page has a suspense, every page is mysterious, and there is a mysterious event also, a suspicious event also, where these two would try to solve some kind of dark case, okay? So they would get a dead body, like more than 1,000 dead body of a woman, and this woman also has a baby in their chest. Like they gave birth to this baby. This 1,000 women gave birth to each babies, okay? And one father produced this 1,000 babies. and these women are bought in a coffin in a fairy world, in the mortal world where the bargainer rules. Okay, well, the bargainer and the female character would try to solve this mystery. What made them dead? What made this woman dead? This woman are soldiers also, and who killed them? How the baby came out? And this baby is not normal babies. These babies are kind of like vampire babies. They suck your blood, and they talk also. They're monster. Technically, the babies are monster. So it's like produced from the monster. You know, the father is a monster himself, so the babies are born as a monster. I mean, the father raped or impregnated thousands of women, so technically he's a monster, right? But I really love the chemistry, the story of this book, the characters and everything about this book. And I think there is 3 more books in this series also. I think this is a series because I have read the second book, 1 or 2 pages, and it was the continuation of this book itself, because this is in a cliffhanger at the end. And yes, I really like the story, and I think I saw this book this year only. This has been trending, like I saw some people reading about this book this month, and I never saw this book before, so I think it's a new book, like newly trend one, a book which would rise, and I hope this book would be very popular because the story is really amazing. Okay, the character, the female character, the male character is something. The male character is a morally grey character, and there is not extremely romance, but when the book is about to end, there is a romance. So just it is a little bit also. I think I would give the spice level 4. Just I love this, okay, because I think this book is really good too. It's really good. Again, I don't think this book is for YA, but it's okay for people YA also. I think they can read also. It's okay. But it's actually very dark, traumatizing one. So read it with your own risk. Don't read because for fun, because it do has dark skins and dark plots. Okay, so not that extremely dark, not like sexual abuse or thing, but there is a dark skin, so read it with your own risk. Okay, so fantasy is over. I finished reading fantasy. So throughout this whole 6 book, I was reading 2 more romance book also, and that was the book that I told earlier, this 2 one. Okay, at that time I was reading ebook also, just like all the books I have read ebook. I was also reading this 2 book as ebooks. Okay, and then I was like, I would try buying the book because I'm a reader. I should buy the books, isn't it? That's how we live and we survive. That's how readers survive. We have to buy books. So I was scrolling through social media something, and I saw a website which is Bookspring India. I will give the Instagram link or whatever link in the description of this website. It's only available in India. Okay, so this website, I saw this website and I was scrolling through the website and saw that all of the books are very cheap. Okay, so I decided to buy some books, and actually it's not some book, I bought 11 books, like series. So I bought the whole 3 books of this one. I bought the whole 4 books, the whole series of this one also, and I also bought the Twisted series, which is Twisted Love, Twisted Hate, Twisted Lies, and that series also. So overall it's 11 book, right? 4 plus 4 plus 3, it's 11. So yes, I bought 11 books from Bookspring India, and the quality was amazing, just amazing. Look at this pages. Oh, it's so neat. The gloss is, this is not a big shop or anything. They sell they have website, they have Instagram pages, but the quality is mind-blowing. I have to keep on bragging about this page, and I hope they would bring more fantasy books and thriller books also, because I have searched a web page. They don't has too much fantasy. They has all kinds of romance, and manga books also, but not fantasies, not every book. Okay, so that web page is amazing. I'm going to brag a lot if I'm going to tell about this web page, because that website is amazing. You can definitely blindly close your eyes and buy from them. They're really amazing book. I would give the link in the they are really amazing website who provides you books, and they have cash on delivery also. That is what another amazing thing is, because the last time when I buy books from website, not Amazon website, they they fooled me. They sent me a pirated version, and the pirated book is, I'm speechless. I can't say about what they provided me. Even the front print was in Germany. It was a caravel book that I bought, okay, and it was in Germany. The writing was in Germany, the front cover, but the inside is English, and it's like they're trying to tell me it's a pirated book, okay? Because the cover was written in German language, not English. So I was really pissed. I was like, no, I'm not going to buy any books from web pages. I'm only going to buy books from Amazon. I'm not going to buy from any book website. But I don't know, some kind of thought came, and I decided to go and buy from Bookspring India. And thank you so much, Bookspring India, for providing me such a wonderful book pieces. They even give me bookmarks. And yes, I would keep on bragging about Bookspring India. So let's get into the video, continue the video. So I told you, when I was reading those fantasy books, those 6 books I have shown, I was reading those 2 books also. But the first book I finished reading was this one, okay, The King of Wrath. And it is not the first book I started reading. This is the book I started reading first, but I finished this one because the story is kind of interesting. It's kind of give you that badass female character and male character, both are badass, and male character is cold-hearted also, but he's possessive. He's like, don't touch her, she's my fiance. Even if he doesn't has any feelings for her, he's like, don't you dare look at her, don't you dare talk with her, she is my fiance. Wow, this was really amazing. Romance, oh my god, oh my god, something's flying. It's my innocence going away. Sorry, but the romance is 1000 spice. Maybe if there is such a number, I'm going to give 1000, because that much romance, that much spice is there. So again, if you don't want to lose your innocence, don't read this. That much romance and spice is there. But the story is also really good. I expected more, because the beginning there is this mafia character. I mean, there is no specific like big role mafia character. There is a mafia character that the male character talks about. Just that mafia man is involved with the male character's brother. So I expected the mafia character, that mafia king or whatever that person is, he would come and do something, and that superhero feelings you would get, right? The main character would come and save his girlfriend or fiance, and you get it, right? I expected the storyline from this one, like huge storyline, but there's no huge storyline. It's a very sweet story. They're like, both are very possessive, but at the same time they are very bad tempered people, but they are very loving also. So I think I pretty much enjoyed this book. But the thing I got irritated is because they are rich people. The male character is a rich man, and he was blackmailed to marry that girl, okay? And she has no option. She has to follow what her father tells. Her father is the one who arranged this marriage, and he's like, if he marries her, her father would win. Her father blackmailed him to marry, right? So he's trying to find the evidence or that is with her father, which has something to do with the male character. He's trying to find the evidence which is with the female character's father, which has something to do with the male character. So he's trying to find it, then destroy it, then don't marry her. But through that journey, he's slowly falling in love with her. He's afraid that if he fall in love and if he marry her, then it's like her father wins, right? So he's like, when it's about to end, he's like, I don't like you, and vice versa, things like that. So the story is not amazing, but I think it would be really great for people who loves to read romance book. And yes, this is popular. I mean, Anna Huang is a popular writer. Her Twisted series book is about to get adapted into movies. So Yes, actually, she's a very nice writer. The main character is an Italian, the female character is a Chinese. So I felt like I'm watching a K drama, but more adult and matured K drama, not those rom com ones. Okay, so yes, I pretty much like this book. I don't have any bad issues like I have with Colin Hoover. It ends with us. No, this is a pretty good book. I won't say it's decent book. It is a pretty good book. That's it. I would give I won't recommend this book, but I would also recommend because the ending made me cry. And I have to tell about the ending also. I just felt like it's very similar to many girls. Okay, the main character, what she went through, it's like she's trying to impress her father and mother, but they think like she is not enough. She need to be more grateful, more perfect, and at the end she's tired of their. I just felt the female character is so similar to me. I don't know, her personality and her trying to impress her parents. That's what I also felt. I also was like that. My sister would disagree, but that's what I felt. Okay, so at the end she decided to go against her parent, and her father disowns her. Well, I also used to think if I go against my family I would get disowned. So technically that's why I said I just felt like we have same thoughts and mindset. I won't recommend this book. I'm sorry. It's a no for me. Or maybe, and no and maybe, because for people who loves to read romance, you have to read this. But no, for those who doesn't read romance but thriller or murder mysteries or fantasy, it's a no. I'm sorry. The last 8th book I read, and I finished reading this yesterday, is this one, The Fine Print. Okay, and Lauren Asher. It has 3 books in series, and I thought it's like a continuation. The same character would be there in the second and third, but I don't think so that that same character would be in the second and third book. Maybe the same character would be there, but the main characters in this book, their life and story entered. That is, they got married, they had child, they are expecting for their second child, and they're living ever after. I mean, they're living happily ever after. So this is more like a CEO billionaire romance, office romance kind of thing. Okay, than this one. It's more like office romance, but both of the book has a rich male character. Like, oh, we are super rich, I can afford a jet, we can go to Paris, we can eat in Eiffel Tower, things like that. Both has traumatized past. I mean, the male character in this one also has a traumatizing past, and in the King of Wrath also has a traumatizing past. It's like they don't have parents. That is what both of this book has. And I have to say this book has similar storyline. Okay, like for example, he is a CEO and he meets a girl who can do all wrong thing to her. He's like, oh, when she's there I'm going crazy, that kind of character. And then he falls madly in love with her, and he's obsessive. He doesn't like another her ex. Like in both of the book, the female character has an ex-boyfriend, and they both would come and try to talk with the female character in this one and this one. And both the boyfriend, in this one the current boyfriend, and in this one the current fiance of the female character, they would be possessive, and they would be like, they would send the ex to a different country. Like in this one also, the main character send the female character's ex to a different place, and in this one also he wants the male character wants the ex to go away from him. Kind of similar. And also there is fightings, like both of them fights, and they're like, I told you in this book he has to break up with her, and just like that in this book also he has to break up with the female character. And then he's like, oh, please come back, I love you so much, don't go, I can't live without you. He decided to leave her because his main priority, main importance is to keep his job. Okay, CFO job, whatever that is. He left her because he think that he has to go to a different place to become a director or CEO of his own company, which is actually his grandfather's company, and he would come and begging her and things like that. So yes, it has a really great happy ending. Both the male character and female character in both the book get married, but in this one there is no children's protection and things like that. But in this book they do get produced, they has one child, and then they are again pregnant with another child, and yes, the ending is like that. It's like the male character is more obsessed and more loving than this one. He is more loving, but I think I just felt like the male character in love is like in love with her body. This one, okay, but in this one, I think so. Yes, it's a dark character, but it's just such a sweet character. It's like the character in this one wears black and red, but in this one the character wear bright color clothes. That is what I felt about this two book. So it's definitely a 4 or 5 spicy level, not stars. And stars, I have to say maybe 3, because the ending was so abrupt and so realistic. If you have watched any K dramas or any rom coms, you would see that they would break up, and then some huge thing happen, some huge surprising thing happen, then again something bad would happen, then again something great would happen, and then only after a lot of hard work only they both ends up together, right? But in this book it's not at all like that. Small issues happen, and she's like, when it's about to end, she's like, oh no, I won't trust any boys anymore, I'm not going to be in relationship anymore, I don't believe in anyone anymore, I won't believe anymore, I don't believe in love anymore. She has that kind of character when it's about to end, but all of a sudden she's like, oh, he's such a sweetheart, I'm not going to break his heart, oh my god, I can't break his heart, I'm going to give my heart to him, blah, 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 blah. Things like that. She's being so sympathetic towards the male character that she falls in love with him again, like, or she would give him a second chance. Then why break up at the first place? Why? Anyway, I have to say this is a 3 or 4 star book. Romance, okay, yes, 5 or 6 or above, because again the romance is adult version romance, but the story is not that impressive, because I expected more, like more from this one. I'm sorry, I really expected more from this one. So these are the 8 books I have read in January. Here's my January wrap. Honestly, these aren't the book that I thought about reading. I just randomly decide to read those books, and there are still books which is currently in my current read list. I will show you, I will tell you which books. And I use Fable to track my readings, like goals, readings and everything. And my current read is Heartless Hunter. Another one is the Rhapsodic's second book, which is A Strange Hymn. I would show the picture here. The third book is A Curse So Dark and Lonely. That also I will show you here. And the fourth book I'm currently reading is Belladonna. And I didn't like Belladonna, honestly. So far, I have read half the pages. I didn't that much enjoy Belladonna. But I think Curse So Dark and Lonely is really good, because it's kind of like a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. And I love Beauty and the Beast so much. And A Strange Hymn, I only read 2 or 3 pages, as I told earlier. And Heartless Hunter is also really good. It's a witch story, kind of fantasy one, and it's the first time I think I'm reading a character which is a witch, because I always try to not read character which has witches. I just don't know, I never get that feeling of reading a witch character, you know. I just don't like witches that much. So this is the first time I am trying an witch book, so I would update about this one, all books. I would if I finish reading, I would tell you. I didn't DNF any book in this month, thank god, but I'm not sure I won't do it later or not. I think I would DNF, and that is what my 2025 goal is, not to DNF books, try to finish as much as I can, because I just felt like maybe you never know, if you stopped reading a book in between and DNF'd it, who knows that the story would be amazing. There can be chances that the story would be amazing, that you just is going to miss something huge, right? So because I read From Blood and Ashes, because it has been such a huge drag at the beginning, but later it was such a huge amazing story, I just thought that I shouldn't DNF book that quickly. I should give it a try, like push myself forward and finish it. It's not going to hurt. I mean, maybe I can blame that book for wasting my time later, but why not try it? You never know, right? So those are the book I'm reading, and There are lots of book in my shelf, like physical book itself, but I'm reading PDF and ebooks because that's who I am. I mean, technically every writers are like that, right? You have lots of books, but you don't read those books. So this is my January wrap, and if you need recs and bookish reels, reviews, and all of it, do subscribe to my channel. And I hope I would upload more videos. I have to read more books, then only I can upload. And I really hope I would read more books in series itself, because I haven't read all series for a long time. The last time I read was December. Yes, I just don't know why I'm telling that I didn't read a book for a long time. I'm just bragging nonsense. I do have read, but recently this year I didn't read a full series. So I'm thinking about finishing a whole series and do a review on a whole series. And I hope you would subscribe to my channel. And if you don't want any content also, just subscribe. You can off the bell icon, okay? Just do it. Please help me. So thank you so much for watching till now, and I hope you enjoy this video. If you like, again, please subscribe to my channel. That's it. Bye, and love you.